So when women understand money, how to earn it, invest it, and protect it, they really gain independence and confidence and the ability to shape their own future. So it's freedom and security. It's more than a number. And with that, you have more options in life. Financial literacy and empowerment will allow you to leave that bad relationship or leave that bad boss if you want to, or buy that new car or go on that trip, or buy that food that you or your family needs. So I think that literacy and empowerment is the foundation to all of that, and for women in particular, so that they can have more freedom and more choices and more security in their life.
Welcome to Knowing Me, Knowing You, the podcast for the future of wealth management. Thanks for being here. I'm Marla Sofer. Money is a tool. It empowers people. Let's dive into how technology is personalizing advice, strengthening connections, and creating lasting impact. If you're an advisor looking to differentiate, a fintech leader shaping the next wave, or a client ready to take control of your financial future, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast, the Know Me podcast where we explore the art and science of discovery to build meaningful connections in financial planning. Sonja Strzoda is a trailblazer in global asset management and a passionate advocate for financial empowerment. With over 25 years of experience working with boards, executives, and major investors, Sonja has dedicated much of her career to promoting financial literacy and fostering empowerment through education. Sonja serves on the boards of organizations like WISE, Women Investing in Security and Education, and the California Financial Educators Council, where she helps women and underserved communities gain the tools and confidence to take control of their financial futures. She's also on the board of New Vision, a growing credit union on the West Coast that is expanding rapidly to help people make better financial choices. In today's conversation, we are going to dive into how women can build financial confidence, the importance of self-discovery and financial wellness, and why owning your financial data is critical to making informed decisions. Sonja, welcome to the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast.
Thank you, Marla. So excited to be here and speak with everyone.
Thrilled that you're here. So we always start with an optimistic question. What excites you about the moment that we're in right now?
Well, I think what excites me most as it pertains to financial empowerment in particular is there is no lack of information. Whether you like to learn through reading or podcasts or online apps or community networking organizations or what have you, there is no lack of access to information. You have to be ready and willing to take the first step. But when you're ready, it's very easy to access information virtually anywhere.
Yeah, I love it. So there's a proliferation of content. Some of it is based in knowledge. Some of it is kind of based in hooey, but there is quite a lot of access to all kind of things, which is extremely exciting. People that couldn't find information today are coming across so much information. And this links to the next question. You've been a really vocal advocate for financial education, especially for women. So why do you think literacy and this access to education around money is so vital to empowerment?
I think financial literacy and knowledge is really the foundation for empowerment. Whether you like it or not, our world functions on the currency of money, and it touches every aspect of your life. So when women understand money, how to earn it, invest it, and protect it, they really gain independence and confidence and the ability to shape their own future. So it's freedom and security. It's more than a number. And with that, you have more options in life. Financial literacy and empowerment will allow you to leave that bad relationship or leave that bad boss if you want to, or buy that new car or go on that trip, or buy that food that you or your family needs. So I think that literacy and empowerment is the foundation to all of that, and for women in particular, so that they can have more freedom and more choices and more security in their life.
Yeah, there's so much there. And I think you hit on some critical ones. And so you talked about empowerment and its intrinsic link with freedom, but you also talked a lot about independence and agency and sovereignty. So as an individual, I want to be able to control my identity, like the way that I show up in the world and who I want to be in a relationship with, whether that is a professional one, whether that's a personal one, and how I want to make decisions that feel like they're right for me, that they're authentic decisions, that they give me an opportunity to feel like I've got this integrity. And I may be going way beyond what you were thinking, but I think that kind of linking that to financial literacy and looking at that as a tool for that independence is so powerful.
Well, that's true, definitely. And again, I think it goes back to money touching every part of your life, whether you like it or not.
100%. It touches every part of your life. And it also, going back to the word empowerment, it gives you power over that part of your life. It gives you power over that independence or that freedom that you might be looking for as you're making decisions in your life, and which could have huge impact on your future and the impact that you have on this planet. So one of the key ways toward that is through discovery and developing a foundation of what do I need to know? How do I achieve financial confidence? And at Nomi, we kind of play a role just in helping people go through that journey of creating more self-awareness and helping people recognize what it is they want to be empowered to do. What are the things that they should be getting more literate about so that they can find that empowerment financially to achieve what really matters to them? So how do you look at self-discovery and financial wellness and those two concepts linking together?
Well, I think that self-awareness is really the first step in financial confidence. And I think a lot of us struggle to even understand that concept, and then also need some help in trying to figure that out. When women understand their values, their habits, and especially their emotions around money, and there's a lot of that involved, they can make more confident financial decisions. You really need to understand your why. And sometimes even asking that question, what is your why? And that you do have a why is a really good first step in self-discovery. And then once you understand that, that can serve as your North Star in helping you make decisions. And we're talking about decisions around money today. So that can definitely help you set your goals and align with your why. It also really simplifies your decision-making process around money. I mean, it can be very confusing to make financial choices about how much you can spend or how you should invest or where you should be, going with your money. And when you understand your why through the process of self-discovery, that can really, really help set your direction and help you navigate through making those choices and make them less daunting.
Yeah, so much there. And I think that, to kind of synthesize all of that, it's really the North Star. What is it you're aiming for? It's coming back to your first step toward achieving more confidence is recognizing for what? Like, what do you need that for? What are you aiming for? And how do I simplify my decisions? So for a lot of women, this has definitely been true as I've built Nomi. I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of women. And I would say there's a common denominator that there's always some level of transition happening in their lives. Women are looking for a change in their personal life, considering divorce. They may be going through a change as it relates to caregiving as their kids are younger and they're kind of evolving, or they're looking to go back to work. There's career changes. There's a lot of women I've spoken to who are executives or former executives, and they're looking for a big transition that really taps a little bit more directly into their why and helps them really recognize this is the next step that I think I want to take, because life is really short and I want to make sure that the energy I'm putting out in the world is aligned with how I want to show up. How do you see readiness, going back to kind of self-awareness, as a factor in navigating those transitional moments? And curious if you're open to sharing, how is it potentially navigated in your life?
Oh, I think readiness is huge. I mean, the more ready you can be, the better. And life is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Surprises and change is going to happen. And that's going to be constant. No matter what your best laid plans are, life is going to happen, and they can be overwhelming. But with financial preparedness and readiness, that uncertainty can be much less daunting and maybe even turned into opportunity. When you can build your savings and understand your assets and develop financial skills, you can navigate this much easier. And it's not just about stability. It's about having choices and the power to move forward on your own terms. Life is going to happen. And again, money is the underlying currency that really is going to touch every aspect of your life. If you can be prepared, if you can be ready, these changes are going to be much easier for you to navigate. And, asking me for a situation where I was able to navigate change, and I was actually able to leave my career because I was financially prepared to do that, to follow my passion, to get more involved in giving back, to teaching other women to be good with money. And, it gave me the opportunity to walk away and start a new career. I really want that for everyone, men and women. I mean, women in particular, but having the choice to make that decision to leave the working world, spend time with my family, and pursue board work where I could continue to give back. That's a choice that I was able to make that I want anyone to be able to make.
Yeah, I love that. So basically you're saying the uncertainty, the transitions are going to happen. Transitions are not in our control. And part of living a life of wellness is recognizing that. I think what's in your control and what's not, and how do you control those factors that you can? And one of those is recognizing there are sparks in those uncertainties that can be opportunities. And the more aware you are of where you're heading, that clarity of an awareness around what you want to achieve helps you navigate. It becomes the navigator that helps you drive the changes you want to achieve in your life. And I love that you keep coming back to, money. Money is what makes the world go round. Money is the fuel for a lot of these changes. Money is the kind of the item that creates that independence and that empowerment overall. And I love your own example saying, look, I wanted to give back, and I wanted to give back in these ways, and being thoughtful about my money, over decades, I'm sure, is what offered you that opportunity. It's what offered you that choice. So when you think about the industry that you come from, and so you, like me, come from this overlap between asset management, wealth management, you've done so many things for females and nonprofits. How do you think the professionals in these industries of wealth and asset management can use data that comes from tools like Nomi, this self-awareness data that help women move through their futures by understanding more about themselves and helping them take meaningful action?
I think it goes back to where we started in the opportunity and the excitement in information being readily available everywhere and anywhere right now. And that goes to the advisor community as well. Advisors and tools like Nomi can really help bridge the gap between awareness and action. Understanding your financial identity, again, is really the first step. What is your identity? What is your why? But the real empowerment comes in applying that knowledge. Advisors who can understand that money is more about the number will benefit. They are not only going to be able to get to know their current clients better in a more meaningful way, they're going to retain those clients. They're going to attract new clients, and they are in particular going to be able to attract the next generation of clients who are digital natives, very comfortable and used to providing information online, are also going to be the recipients of a great transfer of wealth. And I find it a little embarrassing and archaic that there are so many advisors these days that are still providing a questionnaire to their clients about what their risk tolerance is. And I, as a professional, can answer those questions very easily, but I don't even think those questions really apply or are understandable to, non-financial people out there. I really feel like information is key, and being able to utilize new tools that are available out there can really give the advisory community an edge if they too are willing to take the next step.
What if financial planning wasn't just about numbers, but about you, your values, your goals, your vision for the future? Nomi is transforming client discovery for wealth managers, going beyond assets and risk scores to uncover what truly matters. With behavioral insights and real-time data, Nomi helps advisors personalize advice, build deeper connections, and grow their businesses. Because the best financial decisions start with knowing you. Discover the future of client engagement at nomi.com. And then I would love to kind of bridge this back to the work that you're doing. So your context is, look, I come from this industry. I understand what they're doing. There's so many archaic tools that they're using. And then you have all of the work that you're doing on financial literacy, the work with WISE, focused on financial wellness, focused on how we can actually create change in our world, focused on women. And a lot of it goes into this deeply emotional relationship that people have with money. A lot of it goes into society and social biases. So when you think about how these tools can be used, how do you see that bridging between, there's kind of an industry out there, and that industry has done some great work, and some financial advisors are fantastic, but where they're falling short, it seems, is they're really falling short as it relates to helping navigate the emotional side of money, and they're falling even far shorter with the demographics that they don't have these generations of experience working with.
Definitely. So as it comes to the emotional side of money, I think that even definitely the advisor side needs to do a better job of that. But then we as individuals need to do a better job of that too. I think a lot of people don't understand how emotional money is and how you're influenced by the household that you grew up in and the commercials that you're seeing on TV and the society and the peer pressure that you have all around you that isn't necessarily in your best interest. All of that is there to create sales and make money for people. And, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. But I don't necessarily know that we as individuals or the advisor community have been focusing on that emotional side of money. As we progress and we learn more, which is, like any industry or anything about people or industries or what have you, we can make better decisions. And the advisor community really needs to understand that we are all individuals coming to the table with deep biases and personal backgrounds that need to be discussed and discovered, and not just talking about the numbers. When that happens, and if that happens, I think you've found the right advisor. So I put information out there, not only do the individuals make sure that your advisor is really asking those questions, but come prepared having asked those questions of yourself as well.
So this goes into, so let's say they find the right advisor. What at a really high level would be your vision of the future? How do you see these changes, advancements really impacting not only the financial industry, but what it exists to support? It's there to help people channel that fuel for empowerment, their capital in their lives. Money is what makes the world go. And it is what gives the people the freedom and independence, as you said earlier. So what is your vision of the future and how you kind of compare the industry with your vision of what you hope happens?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's a huge question. And I take it back even further than just the financial industry. And I take it back to society in general. I mean, I think there a lot of things from an educational perspective that we should even start teaching our kids earlier about debt and savings and the value of compound interest and what have you. I mean, really, really basic, but so beneficial life skills. So I'd say, society in general, I would love to see the future that well-being doesn't mean that you can't buy expensive things or, drive a nice car or what have you, but that the understanding of living within your means and becoming educated on money and how finance really works would start younger, but then also transition to ongoing education from financial advisors. So making sure that not only are you receiving those, numerical, mathematical suggestions for your money, but that from a personal perspective too, they can look at your well-being holistically and provide information and advice that's truly in your well-being. Now, I don't think that that's not happening with a lot of advisors, but maybe it's not happening to the extent that it could.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that it's not for ill intent. I think advisors really do want to help their clients. I think they're there. And we've talked about this on some other podcasts. Part of it is, like you said, the incentive model. The seller's going to sell. They're out there in the world and they are trying to get you to buy products. And so, if they are talking about a product in a way that's going to get you to buy it, they might not be as focused on holistic well-being. And so I love your point saying, like, in the future, you envision that people will be a little bit more educated earlier. They'll understand their own definition of well-being and living within their means. So they'll be able to be a little bit more of a driver as they work with either themselves or with a professional to help achieve those visions of their own well-being. So I think education is such a huge role. Do you mind talking a little bit more about your work with WISE and community and how it's empowering women and girls?
Sure. So WISE is an organization that helps to provide financial education for women and girls of all ages and socioeconomic backgrounds. We talk about and provide unbiased information, which I think is very important, on topics that impact girls from the age of 7 or 8, like Girl Scouts. We work with Girl Scouts all the way up to widows, retirees, on estate planning, Social Security, and Medicare. And we also talk with university and high school aged girls on the importance of education in general, but then also about careers in the financial industry. And there are some really, really great careers that can be pursued. I think more women should pursue it. I had a great career in financial services, and I'm extremely grateful for not only what I learned, but again, what it provided me as far as freedom and security. So we provide information and inspiration, again, on an unbiased basis, nationwide, easy to access, online, in person, often if you're on the West Coast. But again, it's really starting young in sharing that unbiased information that attracted me to WISE. And again, it's just a way for me to give back to my community, instill some inspiration and knowledge to other women that hopefully will help change a life or two.
Yeah, I love it. And it's what you're doing goes back to your prior answer. What is your vision of the future? And your vision of the future is we start educating them earlier. And so WISE is creating that future that you've envisioned. And because that's kind of been clear to you, it sounds like, have just kind of clomped on to these opportunities to help you achieve your own manifestation of, the change you want to make in the world. And it's so beautiful. I think it's a great example for others to say, look, when you get really clear on what change you want to make and what that's going to look like. You started at the very beginning saying that access is part of the solution. And so what you've done is you've found nonprofit and professional and support type of opportunities to create that change, to create the impact that you're looking to have. And I think that's exactly the model that we're looking to achieve with NOMI, to say, when you get clear about it, you understand your goals, you understand your values, then you can achieve it. So you, Sonja, have been an amazing, amazing supporter and believer in NOMI. You're an advisor for our company. Why are you an early believer in us? And how do you see our vision associated to kind of your vision and this future of empowerment and better financial decisions?
Well, NOMI in particular, I believed in you and your passion and your vision. And we come from somewhat similar backgrounds, you having also the tech background. So you were in this perfect position to create this product. And I couldn't help but understand your vision and get behind your passion. The financial industry, the financial services industry, again, has been far too long focused on what they can sell. The time has come to make the discovery process in particular, to link your why with help that you can achieve to make that process much better. Again, not only for consumers, right? Like even knowing what your why is, even understanding that having a North Star can be really helpful, but also the advisor, anyone who's truly concerned with wanting to get to know their clients, can use this opportunity again, there's knowledge, there's tools, there's information, there's access for both sides of the table in the financial services industry to get better. Know Me is transforming the way that consumers can take control of their financial futures, and it can also help advisors understand their client's entire package, the whole person. That vision is powerful and it's necessary.
I really appreciate that, Sonja. And we always wrap up on the podcast by asking, what is an instance in your life or a conversation you had that totally changed your own relationship with money?
That's a great question. I was fortunate when I was young, when I was a teenager, to work at a company that had this town hall with the founder. And I was a teenager and I was invited, which was great. And the financial message that was shared with everyone at the company was pay yourself first. And it was the idea of, start saving out of every paycheck, pay a little bit to yourself first. Even though I was a teenager, I don't know why, but I was wise enough to, heed that advice and started saving at a very young age. And the power of compounding is miraculous. And the benefit of time is amazing. So that changed my life. And it's not that difficult, and it's very difficult all at the same time. But if you can value yourself enough to pay yourself first, it can have profound implications.
I don't know if you read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, but that's kind of the key lesson there. And it's really paying future you. It's paying yourself and future you, and so that you can achieve that vision that you want. This has been great. Sonja, this conversation has been so inspiring. Thank you so much for your insights on financial literacy, empowerment, the role of money, number one, and number two, the role of self-discovery in building confidence and channeling that money toward the things that individuals really need to empower. What is it that they want to see in the world? Your work and all of the things that you do are proof points that knowledge is power. You are living this vision that you have. When women own their financial data and understand their financial identity, they have the right tools and networks, then they can make bold, informed decisions about their future. Financial wellness isn't just about numbers. It's about control, clarity, and the confidence to take action. If today's conversation resonated with you, ask yourself, what is one financial decision that I want to feel more confident about? Whether it's planning for the future, navigating a life transition, or maybe just understanding where your money is going. Self-discovery is the first step. Sonja, where can our listeners connect with you or learn more about your work or WISE and financial education?
Thanks, Marla. So I'm on LinkedIn and you can find me there, but also check out the WISE website. It's wiseinvestors.org. And there's an extensive library of podcasts and videos on topics related to financial empowerment. Again, it's an unbiased resource, so very easy to access that information.
And for our listeners, as you are dropping off, what is one financial habit you wish you had started earlier? How are you taking advantage of time to benefit future you? Drop it in the comments or DM me. Thank you so much, Sonja.
Thanks, Marla.
Thank you for joining us on the Knowing Me, Knowing You podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Your support helps us bring more transformative conversations to you. Until next time, keep discovering, keep growing, and remember, you're in control of your own financial story. Follow us for more conversations on financial confidence, self-discovery, and the future of money.